coming to you live from the land of chlamydia-ridden koalas. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
Welcome to the 255th episode of the Destiny Down Under Vlogcast. I, as every week, am Log Power Slave, joined by bearded criminal extraordinaire Ned Kelly's grandson and all-round fuckwit Mylan Games. If it's your first time here, welcome. There you go, Matty.
Mate, that was almost perfect. You had like a tiny stutter, but apart from that, it was close to a 10 out of 10.
Nearly back on the horse. Nearly back. I remember I used to be actually good at this shit, and
dude, your hair's looking a bit long. What's going on?
Well, that's what happens when you don't cut it. It grows long. It's fucking wild, man. It's a pain in the ass. I just wear a hood, so I don't have to...
Dude, get Danny to give it a cut. Come around, mate.
Yeah, I mean, admitting the fact that you're 2,000 kilometers from me, the last thing the world needs is two heads that look like yours.
Hey. Look,
right?
Listen here, man.
Oh, that's a good job.
The thing is, we're both pretty close to addicts right now.
I put in the tweet that we wouldn't talk about New World, knowing full well that it would also almost certainly be the first thing we talked about. So, yeah. So that's the thing.
Because we haven't started this early in a while, and I'm thinking, what's changed? And I know what's changed. Logs looked at his timetable. He's like, look. He's sat down with the wife, and he's going, look, listen, we'll cut out the kids' swimming lesson. That means we can get to the podcast a bit quicker. I'll do the dishes last night. I'll start doing laundry on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Boom! I got an extra 45 minutes to fucking grind this MMO out.
Yeah, No, I'm not that bad. I'll just stay up really late and like burn the candle at both ends. But I'd get hung, drawn, and quartered if I even try that shit on through the day. So it's not worth it. It's been good. We've been at netball all morning and all that sort of shit, and then I'll do this and go and watch a footy and whatever after that. So, but I'll be on tonight. I might stream it tonight, I think, and just have a good time with it because it's the beta finishes on Sunday, I think. So or Monday, one of the two. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's maybe even Tuesday. I don't know. I think it's Monday. Yeah, I think it's Monday. Hey, I'm thinking I've had a turning point.
What's the
and I'm going to embrace.
What's the turning
I'm going to
point?
embrace the darkness. Like my tweets about Shayura and Shin Malfur. Like, yeah, I lose brain cells reading the comments. But, mate, controversy is king.
How have we been friends for this long and you're only just...
I know.
You really think I like fighting with dickheads? I mean, I do. Anyway, that's a complete lie.
You do like fighting.
I do.
I don't like fighting though, but I like...
Yeah, see, I like verbally fighting. You like actual fighting. There's a difference. I like arguing.
If you... Mate, it's interesting conversation anyway. I stoked the flames, but by accident. So I made a video about Shayura, and honestly, these last videos have been taking me like a week to make. I actually took note of the hours I put into this video, and this video I did quicker, and it still took me 20 hours. That's not including gameplay and editing. That is just research.
The Shayura one's a good half hour long though, isn't it?
It's 30-minute video as well. Yeah. So
it was deep.
So it's about like a good because I'm streaming in the morning. I only really have half a day to do work in the afternoon for the law stuff. So it's about a week by the time I get through Twitch and that. And I got to the end of the script, and when I was editing the script, I was like, oh, this is a bit like Shin Malfur, because there's like Shin Malfur got mentioned in one of the lore tabs. Like he actually says this is the beginning, something like that, to Shayura.
Yeah.
And it's in the card where Shayura like absolutely kills a guardian and all this kind of stuff and kills an elixir. And so I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I was like, oh, in my head, I was actually like, oh shit, like have I missed this story? Is this going to be the next Dredgen Yor Shin Malfur saga? And that's all I meant, was like Shayura's the next Shin, like as in thematically, she's the next Shin Malfur saga.
She's sort of the next step along that ideal, for want of a better term, right? Like, I mean, probably even more extreme in ways, but it's much the same kind of perspective that they shared in that sense.
It wasn't even that. It was just like she has lore from Season of the Chosen, and then they keep like dropping little bits and pieces. Her character keeps developing and changing, which is very similar to what happened with, Shin Malfur and Dredgen Yor. It starts off as sort of this back end tale, and they slowly add more to their story. So I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be like an epic fucking saga. And then holy balls, the amount of comments, just all the little lore hobbits came out of their den. What's this? No, don't you talk about my Shin Malfur. Fucking Shayura deserves to die, get thrown up. I was like, holy shit. So anyway, I doubled down, because whatever you do when you get wrong is you double down.
Yeah.
And I started to think about it. You can
always write a tweet longer apology later. Double down.
Yeah,
first.
Exactly. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a second. I actually don't have an issue with people not liking Shayura, because she's pretty nasty. But when I tried to break it down, I was like, hold on a second. If you don't like Shayura, you should also be critical of Shin Malfur. And that was like one of the points I wanted to bring up. Even more so, because their backstories, if anything, you could argue Shayura is more tragic than Shin Malfur. You go, oh, Shin's an orphan. He eventually had dads, and he he's a revenge story, and Shayura is a post-traumatic stress disorder story. So it's like, this idea. I mean, I don't think the community is very good with empathy ever.
Man, if anything, the amount of people apologising for Lakshmi, and I think that's fair enough. Probably. That, I mean, look, it's a lesson we don't really need to learn again about the dire lack of empathy.
So anyway, this just fucking blew up, and so I was writing the Praxic Fire video, the Praxic Orders the next lore video this week, and I had to reread a lot of Shin's stuff.
Yep.
And my God, the fanboys have forgotten a lot. They just ignore shit. Like, most of the Twitter comments were like, no. Shin only ever killed people that were already corrupted. Like, definitely confirmed evil. Like, he's actually justified. I literally read a lore entry where a Nor comes down. He has hostages he's about to execute. And a Nor's like, you can't do this. The only evidence we have against them is holding darkness artifacts. This is not a crime worth execution. And he's like, if they fucking breathe in the wrong direction, I'll put a bullet in them. And I'm like, so anyway, I don't know how the next video is going to go. I'm going to do a debate.
I think it's healthy. It's healthy though, right? Like that's when we've fucking labored on it to some extent, right? Especially this season, given the real life analogs of the shit we see going on, like with the Elixir and the Tower and all that. But that conversation, right? Like you're always going to get your fucking 10%, dickheads that are just not in it, like to genuinely have a conversation. That'll just yell their thoughts at the void and then fuck off before hearing anyone else's. But for everyone else, I think it's a really positive thing. I think it's just like I did see a lot of people I interacted more with your Twitter post than anything else. And while there was some like takes so shit that I wanted to go and bleach my mind to clear of them, to be, there was also a lot of people going, hey, yeah, I didn't think about that from that perspective or whatever. And I think that's where that's the real win in it all. But
yeah.
Yeah,
And it was a bit baity because here's a funny thing, man. This is my little mini experiment. I just stated facts, right? And just
what you did and what you did really well was present two pieces of information.
Very skewed, yeah. It was like skewed facts.
Yeah, but then not really interpret it either, but alert people to that there was an issue, but not say what the issue was. So they jumped to a conclusion in their own mind and went hard.
Went absolutely hard, yeah.
I did the same thing. I mean, I'm not sure to jump into a conclusion from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, there was people. I saw you and Shackle. You talk about sexism and stuff. And look, honestly, it wasn't something that came to my mind straight away. But I will say, overall, it doesn't matter what media you're in. I think fans are more happy to accept violence from men than violence from females. It's it's more acceptable
probably
for
an underwritten gender role fucking thing there that we don't particularly need.
Okay, like imagine this. Imagine if John Wick was female.
I reckon it'd be great, but would everyone else? I don't know.
Anyway, we're getting into deep territory, but I think when you combine it with the mental health thing, I think there's a role playing in there that's like you're much more inclined to call her a crazy bitch rather than like a powerful villain.
Yeah, or like the anti-hero, right? Like that seems to be the thing that a lot of outright assholes get. Like that are like, okay, like their ultimate goal is a good one, but they go about it by being a complete fucking murderous psychopath. Oh, anti-hero, right? Cool.
Yeah, unless they're sexy. And if you're sexy and you're killing people, you can get away with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they should have, got an illustrated version of Shayura and like,
spandex.
Yeah, just looks like fucking Scarlett Johansson, and everyone would be like, oh, look, favorite character, no worries.
I love Trials of Osiris so much.
Yeah, love Trials. I mean, that's probably the biggest tragedy of that whole story is that it's all bound up in Trials gear that's fucking hard to get. That, to really put it together in game, you're either looking at Ishtar or running every Trials card on all of your characters to get the gear. So, I mean, we'll leave that. We'll circle back and we'll talk some lore because we did promise last week that we're gonna dive deep, Matty, and I think telling the tale of Shayura. I've watched the video a week ago, so we'll see how good my memory is. But definitely worth a discussion, and we didn't do it last week, so we'll definitely do it this week. Bit of news, bit of fans news. Jump into that straight off the bat. If you're you're part of the ANZ Destiny community, you'll know what fans is, and I mean, even if you're not, you can, I guess, get involved. But next Wednesday we're going to do a charity stream from 8:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, just to get the community together a little bit for the last Iron Banner of the season. We're going to do it through generosity, and we're going to do it in support of the Starlight Foundation. So where everyone can turn up. Basically, all it is you jump in, you play Iron Banner, and there's a whole heap of. Hang on, I'll pull up the thing. How about this? Here's one I prepared earlier using the wrong mouse.
Come on, don't make me whip you again with the promotion. You're doing better than last time. That's for sure.
Look at this. Look at this image what Keg made. That's pretty and probably a little bit too small for this format, but whatever. Forgive me. So here's the deal.
Fans Iron Banner charity event.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just something that Fez and I have kind of put together, and got the help of the good lads at Generosity to sort of facilitate the donations and stuff. But there is a whole list of stuff over here that if you want to donate, you can donate. And basically, the way I see us doing it is no matter where you are on what stream, you have to do this stuff. Whether it's there's no donations per stream. We're doing it as a team, as a community. So you're going to have a busy time just changing all of these parameters as you play. And it'll end up being
what are the parameters?
Well, I
What are
mean,
the-
for
give us some
$10,
examples.
for $10, we're swapping weapons. For $25, you're taking off your exotic armor and replacing it with something else. $30, you're swapping subclass. So maybe at the end of the game, you'll quickly jump out. I mean, actually, that not even. You'll have to just do that on the spot. Character swap. I mean, obviously, you can't do that in the middle of a game, so that'll be the next game. I am set up for this. If you're not, I guess you can't. But swapping between controller and mouse and keyboard, I will. That will be the end of me. And for $200, everyone will be playing in blue gear in Iron Banner. On their lowest character, so basically they will be dead. That's basically it. There are some giveaways tied in with it. The good people at Rig are giving us 2 Rig 300 and 2 Rig 400 gaming headsets, and 5 Rig 500 HX stereo gaming headsets. So you don't have to donate. You just need to turn up and support the streams and have a good time to be able to enter those giveaways. So if you're not doing anything next Wednesday night, come and hang out and have a laugh and enjoy the anguish that you put your favorite ANZ content creator through.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. I can't. It's been a little while in the making, but I'm glad that it's finally on the horizon. It's one of those things that I'm like, we've got to do something. We've got to do something. And then Fez would like be fired up when I'm not fired up. To be like, come on, we've got to do this.
Yeah.
So I mean. Destiny's in a lull at the moment, and that's one of those things where I'm like, I haven't played Destiny in a week and a half, so it's not been on my mind. So I'm glad that I've had Fez sort of, to bounce this sort of stuff off and keep me hyped up about it because she's a champ. So yeah, 8:30 next Wednesday night. And if you want to get involved, I tweeted out about it yesterday. Just reply if you got any questions, hit me up. And if you're not in the fans Discord and you're a Australian or New Zealand content creator, you're in our region, hit us up and I'll get your link because the more the merrier. But yeah, how good. We didn't even do how our weeks have been, Matt. That's how excited we are.
I did my week, which is Shayura.
Shakira's Wrath, killing people with the hips that don't lie.
Straight up truth.
I'd check it out. Fuck it.
What was your week?
Look, on Monday night, I just did nothing but played music on stream. I just wrote music, just stuffed around.
How'd it go?
I went all right. I had a good time, and I don't know. By the end of it, I was like in mixing a bass tone, and I don't know. It felt good to do the shit that I do not on stream, right? Like just get in, and normally it's kind of one of those things where I, in a particular headspace. It's nice to have people to talk to while I do that, and. Yeah, it was good fun. And I think,
but how less productive are you with the chat?
Infinitely. Infinitely. And that, and like, I'm like writing riffs and stuff, and I'm going, I know this riff is a bit shit, and normally I would just delete it and keep trying. But if I do that, it's going to be 3 hours of me playing riffs and not getting anywhere. So I've kind of got to, just suck it and see where it ends up. But look, I mean, I'm either going to get better at it or it's just going to be that, and I'll eventually land on something decent and we'll go from there. So,
hey,
what?
Checked out any Halo Infinite?
I watched Sass play a bit of it last night. Beyond that, not really. I know that people were getting shitty about it. This isn't the greatest fucking piece of interactive content of all time. But I mean, really.
Wait, so you didn't see me play it this morning?
I was a netball, Matt. My eldest
kind of
daughter,
friend are you, mate?
my eldest daughter, the defensive powerhouse
when
of
you're
her
at
team.
netball, one fucking eye on your child and one eye on your phone on me stream like this.
No fucking chance.
Anyway, we actually
Google what fucking netball is. I don't have time to explain it to you, but my daughter is incredibly good at it. And
Does no other country have netball?
I think it's like judging from like the countries that are really competitive in it. I believe there's like Australia, New Zealand. I think some of the Caribbean countries. Jamaica, I remember having a pretty good team, but yeah, it's I don't think it's big in the States or anything like that. So yeah.
Okay, it's basically basketball, but you can't run with the ball. There you go.
That's the worst reflex. That is the worst advice of all time. Like we're talking like 10-year-old girls, and you expect me to be like with the camera out all the time. I'll end up locked up. Yeah. That is not a good idea.
Yeah, that would lock you
Terrible
up.
idea.
You're like, no, you just try to tell them, no, I'm just watching a Twitch streamer. And then they show me on the screen.
Who is this bearded creep?
Anyway, I played it this morning. The best thing about it, the absolute best thing about it, open hot mic default.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been coming around to that in like Sea of Thieves.
I like it.
Sea of Thieves is just, I don't know. It goes one of two ways. It's either really bad and someone spews like horribly racist shit down your hot mic and into your stream, at which point you've kind of just got to ban the living shit out of them and report them. Yeah. But I don't know. How was your experience with it, with the hot mics in?
Well, there was a guy streaming and his mic was on, but he obviously couldn't hear me, so that didn't go well. And then I found a couple other people to talk to, and I asked them about if they played Destiny, and they said not anymore. I said, oh, that's a shame. And then nobody was talking to me. Like, no one was responding, even though I was like asking if like, can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Blah, blah. So I just started talking to myself. I just said, like, sometimes I get really lonely, and Halo Infinite's really curing my depression, and I think this is going to be a really good year for me. And then I was like,
did anyone offer you any support at all?
Yeah. And then I was like, maybe I'll make a clan. And then someone jumped and goes, you do that, mate. You go, you good thing, right? And I was like, then I played, you know, that role when someone gives you attention, you just go, fucking stage 5 clinger. I was like, will you join my clan? And he's like, and then the match ended.
Did you at any point flex on YouTube subs?
No, I always pretend like I don't know.
That's progress for you. That's good for you. That's because that's normally the go-to, like even in like private DMs.
How many subs do you have?
Voice chats. If anyone gets a bit snarky with Matt, he resorts to that. How many subs do you have? And it's like Sassy, who doesn't even fucking have a channel, really.
We did make my potential clanmate wanted to know the name of the clan. What was the name of it? I did have to think pretty quick on the spot, so I called it Just the Shaft. It's a grab hammer joke.
It's not a very good grab hammer joke.
No.
Quite bad.
It's not my best work, but or was it only shaft?
Only shaft.
Something like
that. Right. No head, just the shaft.
Just shaft.
And if you yeah, that's it. Andromeda, you're on the face palming.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, it did physically hurt me. I feel like I just died a minus soul death.
As for Halo Infinite,
how's it feeling? Yeah, you enjoying it?
Like I said, I think like it's only against bots, so it's really hard to sort of.
That's why I kind of like. I wasn't too upset when I didn't. You know, I forgot about the test flight thing. I didn't even register for it, so I can't cry.
I mean, I was sassy, but it feels like it's gonna be sweaty competitive in a good way.
Yeah, like it reminded me a lot of just. You know, I watched Sass play for quite a bit last night, and it just looks like Halo. It looks like a very balanced sandbox, Halo sandbox. I mean, obviously there'll be an outlier. There's always one weapon that rises to the top, but it did. It just looked really solid Halo. That's the only way I can fucking describe it.
It's just going to be all about map knowledge, angle knowledge, fucking where to throw grenade knowledge, skill movement with maintaining sprint and slide and jump and all that kind of shit. And then, just dominating with the weapons pickup.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part of it I'm most excited for. The return to that arena kind of style where you're picking up, everyone's loading in with the same loadout and you're modifying your equipment by picking shit up off the ground. That's what I'm looking forward to most, I think.
I played the grapple hook a bit.
How's that go?
You can grapple onto people, which is fun. Like pull yourself towards them.
Slight crossover with Sea of Thieves with the grappling.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you can grapple items.
Yeah, right.
So like someone was...
there's sniper rifles over there. Boom.
Pick it up.
Oof. I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, it adds another layer to it, right? Like if there's ammo or something you need that's out around a corner you can't get to because someone's got you boxed in. Boom.
Yeah.
I like it.
Um,
I think it's kind of hard of a read. It's kind of hard to read it. Like you can kind of.
It's hard with bots. It's really hard to work it out with bots.
You've got no idea how potato they are. And I'm like, I mean, I think Sass died twice and he jumped off a ledge both times. So, I mean, he's a Halo alien. So let's just be honest. He's probably shouldn't.
Yeah, but he hasn't really
bots.
played it on mouse and keyboard. Was he playing mouse and keyboard or was he playing controller?
No, he would have been controller. Yeah. So. Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be the first Halo that's ever been made with that consideration in mind, right? Like from the get go. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes. You know, I have seen another few things about like there's a lot that you can customize in terms of the feel and your input and all that sort of stuff with stickiness and you know whatever. So I imagine that there'll be someone will figure out how to maximize that, and people will be absolute fucking gods with sniper rifles and shit, but time will tell. I'm really excited for it, and I'm kind of glad I'm not in on the test flight because it just gives me the opportunity to just have a little look and then go and do something else and not get too wound up. Still got a few months to wait before we're going to get our hands on it.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a tiny little bit about New World, and then we're going to read the TWAB, and then we're going to. You
want to say New World for later? Or you want to or you want to do it now? Oh, because that's what you did this week.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, that was kind of what I did. I did Sea of Thieves. I played Sea of Thieves with Fez and Sass and Keggy on Wednesday night, and I beached the ship. Right, we were fucked. Right, this brig was behind us. They were peppering us, and I beached the galleon so that it was out of the water, and they couldn't sink us. So we had holes in every panel, but because we were out of the water, we weren't taking on any water, so they couldn't sink us. So we eventually killed them and they went away. And it was a complete accident, but I'm claiming it as the greatest moment of my fucking smooth brain career. So
how did you get stuff back?
Oh, we eventually just harpooned ourselves off the fucking off the sandbar that we were stuck on. And
oh, really? So eventually you could unstick yourselves.
Yeah. But all of the cannon fire and shit did nothing to dislodge us to begin with. It was insane. It was the biggest, best, happiest accident that's ever happened in my life.
Right.
Except my youngest kid. But we'll move. Moving on. But yeah, New World. I played that last night with you guys, and I think it's good. I mean, it's been a while since I played an MMO like that. The last one was ESO, but I've played MMOs pretty extensively in the past, and I guess at face value, it looks like it's got everything it needs to be pretty good. It's a very pretty game if you're looking for that in the engine. Yep. I think it'll be better in time, right? Like it does seem there's a bit classic MMO jankiness and shit through it. But mainly what I want to do is just organize like everyone that's in the Destiny community that's going to play it. Just get them all on the one server and all in the one company. Company's like a guild, and we can have our own thing. We'll just run it.
Maybe in a really nice, like in a nice way, in an ironic way, like all Destiny fans, but can we call the company name Destiny is Dead?
I mean, maybe as long as we can rename it if it actually does die, then because then it would be in poor taste, right? No, we cannot. We've had word from Fez. Fez says no. So, I mean, that's probably a bit too smarty pants. Really, it might send
too smarty pants.
Might send the wrong message. But we need to think up a Destiny pun that we can take into another MMO.
Name the guild. What about Destiny 3? That's pretty good.
I'm gonna call it PvP content.
No.
No. Now we're being nasty. But look, let's hit the sting. We'll talk about the all the shit in the TWAB because there's quite a bit. But also, I'm not going to read it all because it's like a huge wall of text and it's just too much reading. So.
Like Adrian has a good. Hold on. Adrian has a good one. Call it going back to Destiny in a couple of weeks. So true. It's so true. Oh, yeah. If you're in the comments, leave us your best New World
Destiny
clan
related
name.
Clan name.
Destiny related clan name. There you go.
Yep. that will outsource the brain power. Good idea, Manny. Good idea.
Yeah.
All right, here's the TWAB. Right, there's a very prevalent theme of the TWAB this week, and it is 100% about the incoming changes that we're going to experience with crossplay. Most of it is pretty self-explanatory. A lot of it is stuff that we won't really get to play around with too much until we get our hands on it. But probably the most important thing that you need to traverse in your shift to the crossplay universe is managing your own name. Now, this is something that I kind of thought of myself, right? Like, the way it's going to work is it's going to take your current platform name and it's going to add a number to the end of it, and that's kind of like your new Bungie name. Okay, but I've always thought, right, like every time I register for something like this, it's hit and miss whether or not I'm allowed to have the word slave at the back end. It's at the back end of my name.
I tell you what, mate, when you first ever contacted me and your name was Log Power Slave, I thought, who the fuck is this nutter?
Yeah, I know. So like, if you don't know what Iron Maiden is, you're gonna like, I'm either into bondage or I'm being fucking some kind of racist piece of shit. So I think I'm gonna dip the old power slave, at least in game, in contexts where I can't, like people will see me, but I'm not there to explain myself. So that's the plan. I'm just gonna be Log. So if you see Log around, it'll be probably.
How do we do it? Does this all sort of happen when you log in?
It goes off your Steam name. So, well, for us, it'll go off our Steam name. If you're on Xbox, it'll be your gamer tag, and PlayStation, it'll be your PSN ID. So, more or less, it'll truncate that. And if you are on the wrong side of the filter, if something naughty is picked up in your name, you will be given a name. Where is it? It was great. Guardian random number. So you'll know all the people who push the envelope a little bit too hard because their name will just be Guardian.
And can you change it back or nah?
No, not off the bat. No, you can't. So you're just gonna get shit on. They're looking at a system that'll allow you to do that probably come the end of the year. But if you're flying a little bit close to the wind, like I guess I am, you're going to want to get in there and think this shit through.
It's a bit like, when you've got your Gmail from when you were 12 years old and you never got a new Gmail, so you're still using it on your resume as like...
like Chook's email, burnt turd. Oh, fucking just dox the poor bastard anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
like Hotmail, baby.
I'm trying to think
Hotmail, baby.
What was your cringeworthy Hotmail address?
Nah, I can't. Mine wasn't very cringy. It was my last name Australianized with the E's,
right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, well, we can't do that without doxing you, so we'll let it go. Mine was
and my birthday.
My long distant one before Log Power Slave, a Keg. Kegs, Ditto Keg, right, everywhere. Me and Keg decided we were going to name ourselves after Slayer songs, right? So Ditto Head is a Slayer song, so he just subbed Keg into there, right? I went Log Ensemble, right, for up the War Ensemble, but really it just sounds like I might sell fucking cupboards or something. It makes no sense and isn't particularly tough. So that went by the wayside, and I adopted the Iron Maiden album that I'm now grappling with the racist connotations of. So great. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yep. Anyway.
I just can't. Whenever I hear log, I think of poo. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think of a big log of shit.
I mean, it could be worse. My name could start with a B, and then I'd be Bog. I would be shit. And my dad, Peter, is Pog. So that's every time someone says Poggers anywhere ever, I think of my dad. I think of my dad now more than I ever have in my life because of the fucking internet and Twitch and all this shit. One day I'm going to get him on stream when someone says Pog, and I'm going to, Dad, see this? And you'll have no idea.
Yeah.
But look, there's a whole heap of stuff that's coming. Basically, all of the inviting will be managed in game so that the cross-platform stuff is negated, right? So you're not inviting people on Steam through Xbox and shit like that. It'll all be managed in game. There will be in-game voice chat coming down the line and text chat, so that you'll be able to plug a keyboard into your console and do that. So I'm really excited for this. I think it'll breathe a breath of fresh air, especially for like people who do carries and all of that sort of stuff. Now they'll be able to help literally everyone, and I think that's
gonna
something.
explode.
Yeah, whenever I think of this sort of stuff, I think like the nicest guy in the universe, Sniperton, helping people. Right?
Yeah.
Now he can just play where he wants to play and help people. So I'm excited for that for him more so than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's more or less it. If you're really interested in the ins and outs of it, jump into the TWAB because it is very wordy. It is very wordy, but the features as they are. So we're going to launch. It's going to launch at the launch of next season. So just expect choppy seas. I know that everyone gets butthurt when something goes wrong at the start of a Destiny season. This is crossplay. This is not a fucking small thing. So please just take a deep breath, and if it doesn't work, I don't know, go and play New World with cool people like me and Matt.
Because it does release just before New World, so you know if you really get the shits, you can just go play New World. So there you go.
Yeah. But the coming iterations on it, in early season 15, Bungie Name and Bungie Friends will become available. So Bungie Name is the changing of your name. Oh, no, hang on, that's in winter. Sorry. Cross-platform invites, multiplayer and matchmaking. So that's coming as a launch feature of this season. Searching players through the Bungie Name and Bungie Friends system will also occur. Soon after launch, cross-platform voice chat, which I think may end up in the hot mic madness that Matt's talking about having in Halo. I'm going to need to figure out how to do that on a 2PC setup. I've managed it in Sea of Thieves, so hopefully I can do it in this. Bungie name changes are in winter, so 6 months away. So if you've got a rude word in your name, change it now. Otherwise, you will be Guardian, deservingly so.
I'm going to change my name to Guardian 6969 anyway.
I've been trying to think about who I can get in contact with because you get like arbitrary numbers put after your name so that it doesn't display much like what Blizzard was when we were on that. Not that anyone's fucking going back to that. But it's like your display name and then there's sort of like the hashtag numbers after that. If I can get log 666, I will pay $1,000 for that. I'm not sure whether they're looking to monetize this system, but I'm just saying. So yeah, winter, we're going to get the text chat and text chat display on consoles, and the ability for you to plug your keyboard in, and yeah, I don't know, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to breathe fresh air in. They're still going to be segregating players based on console. So like if you're on console, you won't get put into competitive modes against people on PC and vice versa unless you're queuing with people on PC.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that lands and whether, you know, like, I mean, obviously the default assumption is that anyone on a mouse and keyboard has a absurd advantage, and you know that may well be true, but I think that I think the controllers in the hands of someone pretty competent are fucking nasty, man.
I think if you take the average controller player who has the right setup that favors a controller and an average mouse and keyboard player, I think the controller player wins.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
They got all the right mods and everything like set up properly. I think they win.
I do hope that they just like they tinker with that, because I would love to just see everyone all in one pool. Like, you know, that's where I would. And maybe it tells you what input method other people are using or what. I don't know. I think it'd just be super.
No, not in the same pool. Nah.
You don't reckon? You don't reckon?
Nah. There's already enough. Like, it would just cause too much. Like, because then, and every time anyone loses, it was like, oh, you're on controller. Oh, you're on mouse. Oh, I think it would just cause too much.
I mean, what? Like, instead of
Discord.
you're using your Cronus Max, or oh, you're a hacker. Like, we're just going to replace it with something else. We might as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Something more legitimate than accusing every second person you bump into in trials of being a hacker.
I also just know that I'll probably go back to controller because I'll feel like I'm actually that bad at mouse and keyboard.
I'm really bad at controlling it. That's the one I'm most worried about with that Iron Banner thing, is that I'm gonna end up stuck on a controller. It's like playing underwater now. It's been years. And on that note, in the TWAB, this week is this coming reset is the final Iron Banner of the season. So if you're late to the quests and all that sort of stuff, it'll give you the opportunity to go through and knock that over. So that's about the meat and bones of the TWAB this week. Yeah,
Is that it, mate?
that's it. I mean, look, I could go through.
But was it a big heavy technical crossplay?
It's basically just breaking down all of the little systemic things that'll come with crossplay. And honestly, if you want me to read that out, you aren't doing it for the sake of informing yourself. You're just wanting me to suffer. So, like, no one reads that. Go and read it with your own eyes. And if you can't read 10 paragraphs that pertain to your future in Destiny with your own eyeballs, I can't help you. Right?
Maybe some people can't read, mate. You don't want to help them?
Now you've made me feel like a son of a bitch, Matt. Real. Why don't you read it to him in your boring law voice? There you go. Next week's video. Welcome back, Guardians.
Oh, shut up, mate.
When crossplay releases.
Right, do you want me to tell you some fucking law or not?
Yeah, fuck it.
You dumb shit.
Tell me the law. Lay down the law, Matthew. Lay down the law.
Tell me the law, baby. Well, the reason why these Shayura, if you haven't seen the video, I felt very D1 to me because I sort of was discovering a bunch of stuff about the lore cards as I put it together, which you don't always get these days. And essentially, there's obviously 5 gear sets, five items of armor for each class for trials.
Yep.
And on each item, it tells the story from the respective perspective of that class. So the hunter helmet tells about event number 1 from the hunter's perspective in Shayura's story.
So in Shayura's fire team, there is Shayura,
a
who's the
hunter.
warlock.
She's a warlock. Yeah.
There's also a hunter and a titan. So each set is broken down from the perspective.
Yeah. So all the warlock
character.
gears from Shayura's perspective, all the hunter gears from the hunter and Shayura's team called Aisha.
Look, what did you call it in your video? Aisha. You can kind of like half commit to Aisha, but have it still be Aisha. So like Aisha. Just
I called it Aisha, and I think that is the Americanized version. I think Aisha is Muhammad's wife.
Oh, okay.
That's what came up on when I Googled that. But I honestly just play into my largest audience, so I get the least amount of comments about, actually, this is how to pronounce it.
The last thing we need is a Kaber and Kabir
scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. Rahul.
Rahul. What are you saying? What Rahul?
What? All right, go.
What way? And the Titan reads 7, right? So, and you actually work that out by reading the first line of every card. It says simulation log, which now you've ruined it for me because every time I see log, I think you're a fucking dumb head. So simulation reconstruction log, and it tells you whose perspective is talking if you didn't work it out.
Yeah, I will.
But it also gives
it
gives you another number as well, which indicates the chronology of Shayura's story. Right?
Yeah, but if you are going to read it yourself, it just goes head, arm, chest, legs.
No, it doesn't.
Last one doesn't.
Yeah, that's really triggering. It doesn't do it. You think it would do that? It doesn't do that. I don't know why. They fucked up. It should be that. It should be from top to bottom, but there's obviously Y's got crossed at some point.
See, I watched your video and like tuned out about the whole like just tell me the shit that I need to know. Not anyway, but I'm glad that you're here now to tell me.
Yeah, to be honest, I did think I spent probably too much time on that discussion because people.
That's all good.
But this is the reason why. Because when I first read it, I was like, this is fucked. This is wrong. They've made a typo. Because one of the entries, Shayura's like on Titan fighting a Hive Knight. I'm like, huh? This Titan's no longer there. It's gone. How is this back in time? And it was at that point it struck me she's having a flashback, and it's only when you understand
All of
how the entries are
perspectives,
written and you read it from the other perspectives, you realize they're describing the exact same event, and she is having basically an episode, a post-traumatic stress disorder episode, and she's actually hallucinating, and she thinks she's on Titan fighting this Hive Knight. In reality, she's stabbing this Guardian in the face after the match has ended, repeatedly with the
trials,
sword in trials, and she's begging
griefing.
for his life.
Griefing.
She's griefing.
IRL space magic griefing.
So her teammates pull her off her, and then there's a whole, I don't know, 6 cards that talk about her trying to talk about it and feeling really upset and you know, down about it, and they're encouraging her to speak with Akora Ray, because Akora Ray went through a lot of sort of similar feelings during the Red War. So they're sort of like, go talk to Akora, she'll understand. You know, when everyone lost their light, you know, Akora went through like basically PTSD as well, and all the people that died and all this kind of stuff. And
so for Shayura, that's what this stems from, right? Like the long story is that it's sort of brought up by the fact that Sloane is more or less left on Titan when Titan is overwhelmed by the darkness.
Yeah,
like
well,
that's kind of like the catalyst of what brings up her frustration with it all. But really, it's born of sort of her being a Guardian who's on Titan at the time that Gaul takes over the Traveler and blocks all the Guardians everywhere from their abilities. So all of a sudden she, you know, there's this feelings of like abandonment, and you know, obviously she at the time had no idea what had happened. So a very honestly, a perspective of those events that I probably hadn't considered, at least not in a very long time, right? And I think the whole storyline, and we'll talk through it, but I think the whole storyline speaks to, like, you know, you can give people power, right? And you can make someone, you know, like, I mean, she's a warlock. She's a bloody Dongblade warlock, right? Throwing fire everywhere and, you know, very powerful person. But it's kind of all brought unstuck by her past and her ability to process things and you know, no matter how powerful you are, you can be brought unstuck by your own mind, more or less, which is, you know, it's pretty sad, really. That's the overwhelming thing I got from it.
Think about this, like, you still feel pain, and every time you go into Crucible, you actually kill your fellow Guardians.
Yeah, or die.
And die.
Yeah. Get disintegrated.
So they have painted 2 sides to Guardians. One side of Guardians obviously get really, really desensitized to death. Yep. Which, I mean, this is not made up. This is like what happens to soldiers, right? Because your brain tries to protect itself. So you're either going to get desensitized or you're going to be traumatized.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So Shayura is pretty traumatized because she basically had this near-death experience with this Hive Knight that kept respawning, which, by the way, chat told me that there is a knight on Titan who has a death ritual that we face off again, and he keeps respawning, something like that.
Yeah, right.
So
that's where she was.
That's where she was. She has that, and then also she feels very bad about leaving Sloane, because this is sort of bringing up the feelings of permanent death for her, essentially. And then she has this episode in the Trials of Osiris match, gets encouraged to talk to Akora and sort of see if she's fit for duty, really. And she even brings up the topic, like, can a Guardian be unfit for duty? Like, I'm a bit fucked up from all this. Um, and did anything else? Oh, of course. Then she goes into a second. No, sorry. The Traveler awakes. And for whatever reason, that becomes a turning point for her. And you see her mindset change. And rather than sort of seeking help, she sort of double downs on like fanatically protecting the light.
I think like that part of it, and this is kind of the part of it that I thought more about than the rest, maybe, because the rest of it's just
good.
her being kind of badass, right? Yeah, look, wow, Log did his research, did a think, but like her take on it is more like you know, she understood what it felt like to lose all of that power, right? Immortality and, you know, what we refer to as space magic and everything, right? And be so desperate to survive that she would have accepted help from anywhere or anything. And she kind of, like, that desperation is kind of what she perceives to be why other people are reaching out to stasis and the darkness.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, if that had come along at that time, for me, I would have made that choice also. She would have grabbed it with both hands. But I think, I can't remember what the exact line is, but it's, you know, the difference between something's annihilation and their salvation, you know, it's there's a choice there to be made. And, you know, who's to say that choosing your salvation is actually the right choice? Like, maybe it would be better to be killed and be gone than take up the darkness. So you can see that's the seeds of sort of the fanaticism being sown in her. Like, she's clearly drawn this really hard line of, okay, well, you know, I'm lucky that I have the light. You know, I lost it, got it back, and that is the way. And all of the other people that have, you know, clearly been through the same thing as we all did as Guardians, you know, during the Red War campaign, maybe she sees that that she suspects that desperation is now why people are reaching out to these other, you know, to the darkness, to stasis and whatever else comes next.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, she decides that she will fanatically defend the light now. And so the next trials match she goes into, she tries to permanently kill a Guardian. And we don't really you don't really get a sense for Crucible etiquette until you start reading laws like this, where basically shooting someone's ghost is off limits. You kill someone and you let them be revived and they go about their business. And so she targets ghosts, and not just with bullets, because essentially bullets wouldn't do it, because you need to. Bungie's really doubling down on the paracausal activity that you need to kill a ghost. So you need to chop it up with the light or the darkness. And so that's what she does, basically, is sort of flaming sword to try to cut a ghost in half. She damages one. And she's only stopped by her teammate, Aisha, who's using stasis.
The hunter in the fire team, yeah. Freezes her with stasis.
Freezes her. And by the way, I'm pretty sure I needed to follow this up. The video got too long, so I didn't bother doing it. But I'm pretty sure Aisha is the same Guardian. Remember Temporary, the Fallen?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Fallen's brother?
Yeah,
that's getting beaten by the mob?
Yeah, the one that comes along and stops it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same.
Yeah, I think thought that at the time. I didn't investigate it either. Man, I'm pretty sure it is. Hey, I'm pretty sure at least it's alluding to that. It's all the same.
Yeah.
You know, theme really.
Because does very similar things. So she gets frozen, but here's the thing, right? So that was all season of The Chosen.
Yeah.
And it ended with her being frozen. But come along this season, we get Shayura's Wrath. And the opening flavor text is this: but here you are. This is truly a beginning. Shin Malfur.
Yeah, so it's definitely a deliberate, like, okay, I don't know. What do you take that to mean?
So what do you mean by that? What do you reckon that means? Okay, like is intentional. The writer said, do you know what? The opening flavor text on Shayura's Wrath, where she kills a stasis wielding guardian and an Elixni, is gonna have a quote from Shin Malphur, who, by the way, is still alive, right? Shin's still here.
Yeah, so that's
am I crazy?
That's the thing. I asked myself the same question, but I'm like, is this something that, like, do they now know each other? Has he sought her out because he's seen what she's doing? Is this something that he's said to her, or is this just simply for us to go, look, like, this isn't just one guardian. This is a recurring theme and probably something we're going to have to grapple with as we go forward, using the balance of light and dark.
And he doesn't seem disappointed. This is truly a beginning. It seems like he's in support.
But so that's the thing. It was like, well, good on you. Here we go. Let's just Shin's somewhere going.
Dude, if fucking Shin Malphur joins Shayura, I am going to personally reply to all those fucking Malphur fanboys going, ha ha, you dumbass. I fucking hope. Anyway, but she is proper.
Yeah, she's
no more questions.
Yeah. She's fully in the Punisher. I'm taking everyone out.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, that's the analog, right? Like, she's full blown. Well, to her mind, anti-hero, right? Like, to us, because now we're all using the darkness. And I guess maybe that's the difference between people's perception of her and their perception of Shin, in that the story of Shin Malphur was told at a time when the darkness was perceived by everyone to be a negative thing, where now we know that that's not necessarily the case. So it's like, it's being told that this thing that you do is really bad. No one likes that. So, that's probably the other explanation on why people are so staunch about their feelings.
I keep telling people. So I reread not everything. I reread about 70 pages of Season of the Drifter. Season of the Drifter had a massive lore dump. A big stinking shit on your desk full of lore, but glorious poop. It was, that's the wrong analogy. It was great. There's a lot of lore. It was a lore dump.
I thought it was great.
And the thing is, I need to go. This is why my next video is on Shin Malphur. But all the people that were commenting, I feel like they're not recalling the lore correctly. People are like,
it's been a long time, though. It's been a long time.
Should be like, Shin was hunting Dredgens before. I was like, no, Shin created the Shadows of Yore when Gambit came along to lure out potential Dredgens. That was the Gambit. That was the long con.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right?
I think it definitely warrants following up, and I don't know. I mean, I know that you've alluded to that, because was Shin Malphur ever tied in with the Praxic order shit? Is that?
Yes.
Right. So because I'm hazy on that. I'm hazy on that.
He wasn't part of them, right? So this is what I reread. So he wasn't part of them, but he met them. So the Praxic order were really concerned with Gambit because the Drifter was fucking around with darkness, and they're like, don't do that. And also because the Drifter was giving out Dredgen titles, which was in sort of parallel, basically, to the Shadows of Yore.
Yep.
Right? People idolizing Dredgen Yore. So you have the Drifter with Gambit giving Dredgen titles, and the Shadows of Yore who are idolizing Dredgen Yore. And so the Praxic order actually, oh man, now we're getting into spoiler territory for the next video, but do you know much about the Praxic order?
Oh, look, I mean, I know that they're sort of a more puritanical order of. I mean, my understanding was that they were solar warlocks and whatever, but really, they were the faction that, remember when we were choosing between the Drifter, siding with the Drifter and siding with Honor, that sent us the notes via the postmaster that weren't particularly engaging, but that was the choice, right? You choose the Praxic order and you choose to stay with the light, or you side with the Drifter. So you can definitely see how Shayura ends up on that that's the crowd she ends up running with, if she's running with him at all.
Here's the thing. When I reread it all, I thought the same thing. I was writing a video with the intention of the title being "The Praxic Order Needs to Go," because Shayura's out there just murdering everybody. When I reread, I actually think Shayura, right, has taken the preachings of the Praxic Order and is a lone wolf, a lone fanatical.
Has become
because when I reread the Praxic Order, guess this. They have office space in the tower. They are literally described as internal affairs in the law. They are police. They are guardian detectives. Their role is to investigate guardians. That is what the order is about.
Yeah, but it wasn't it they were designed from the ground up to investigate Guardians' sort of dalliances with the darkness, right?
With the darkness.
Well,
yes.
but they're fucking busy now because we're all fucking doing it. There were some fucking contact tracers in New South Wales that fucking, it's over. Everyone's fucking doing it.
Right. And when you take it from that perspective, that's why my first impression of Nora, she was a very unlikable character. But when you put it in that, she basically is like a super cop, right? And she's got the cormorant badge, and she comes in and fucking flashes his bag around.
Freeze!
Yeah, and she like and she goes hard, right? She is like she also wears this black coat, and she's got a shotgun, and she's like Men in Black, CIA.
Yeah, she's like a fucking internal affairs detective.
Yeah, all rolled into one.
Yeah,
and that's why she goes so hard after the Drifter, right? But most of their encounters, they do not permanently kill Guardians. They detain them. They have what's called Praxic technology, Praxic tech, which are basically like arc net guns, and they incapacitate ghosts, and then they send them to be rehabilitated and re-educated because they understand that ghosts are finite and we can't keep killing them. And they actually take 2 hostages off Shin Malfur because they have to blow them away. And I say, no, they're low-level offenders. We can re-educate them.
Isn't that more or less where Shayura was, though? But like being held by the Vanguard as someone who is, clearly, like her judgment has lapsed to the point that they felt that she was a risk to other people. So, they had her in containment or whatever after she'd been frozen. And then she escaped, right? So it's basically the same thing from the opposite perspective. She's, because now everyone's like, hey, I'm cool with the darkness. I don't know what the Praxic Order are doing, just kicking up their heels. Oh, we've given up.
Okay, you know what? This is probably more true. She's an inverse Shin Malfur. So Shin Malfur. No. Nah, fucked it. No, that's not right either.
It's all right. At least you pulled out, right?
Oh yeah, pulled out that one. So that's the next video. I actually go into the full history of the Praxic Order because, and this is why I keep coming back to this idea that I think this is going to be like a big fucking saga. Like the fact that they've reintroduced her, she broke back out. We got Shira's Wrath. I think there's more to the story, and they've got the setting. They've got Anor. They've got the Praxic Order. They've got Dredgens. They've got the Drifter. It's continuing this. They got Shin Malfur fucking dropping quotes in her lore tab. Like, I think it's a signal that she's an important character.
I want it to come to something that's high stakes, right? I want that the concept of choosing a side in Destiny that actually means something, right? And I know that like we don't want to divide the player base or all that sort of shit, but I would love for everyone's got 3 characters, so to be able to choose. Okay, look, I'm choosing that I've had my little 6 months playing with the darkness, and I've decided that's not who I am anymore, and I'm going to go back to the light. And you have to make a choice, or no, I'm going full edgelord. I'm all darkness. I would love to see us have to do that. At least, even if it was something that was like to
a mission.
Yeah. Just for the story's sake, and then it was something that was resolved after or whatever, so that everyone had the choice again. I just feel like it'd really add weight to the fact that we're trying to balance out these two polar opposite, you know, ideologies or however you want to look at it, forces, powers.
Imagine this, right? Imagine we track down Shayura and we get, I mean, this always happens in video games, but it's never been seen in Destiny. Imagine if you get the choice, press fucking X to execute, press square to save.
Hold E to give Chris Pie 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fun to crash baby anyways. Stasis doesn't bother me too much. I'll stay the light. I'm fine, especially if they're going to tinker with it. But I don't know. Look, we'll open chat up because we've been talking about this for fucking quite a while and no one in. Oop, that's not the wrong button. There we go. So feel free to have your say, have your take on it. I like Nick's take that this is a pin-up example of why no one who's, you know, not in the right mental headspace should play Trials. This is what can happen. You can destroy yourself and become a fanatic. Not a good idea. Not a wise move. I mean, that, and again, raises a good point. Lightfall. Do we think that that's, I don't know. It's so ambiguous. It could mean so many things.
The thing with like the whole like when you had to pick between the Drifter and the Nor, it was sort of cool and sort of not cool because it was like half of the story you missed and half of it you didn't, and it's really fucking hard to go back and read that stuff. And I don't know, I like it and don't like it at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like it'd need to be like, say we got a significant DLC, right? Like a major release DLC, and you got the choice. And you chose, with each character, you chose to go through it, and it wasn't an event thing like that was. It was just there for a little bit, and then it was gone. It's like, well, if you roll a new character, and at any time you will play through this sequence of events, and you'll get the choice, and the choice depends on, you know, that it arcs your missions more or less, and maybe you end up at the same spot at the end, no matter what you do. But I feel like that kind of autonomy would make people's interaction with their characters that much more authentic. Because like, as you read this stuff, right, like I can understand why people are like, oh, wow, what a fucking maniac. You know, she's lost a plot and she's going around killing people because they're doing something that everyone's doing. But at the same time, like I can sit here and say, well, like it's still, you know, 6 months on, doesn't sit super easy with me that we just throw the darkness around and it's fine now. Like, there was never a moment where it went to me like, oh, you know what, this is just a good idea. Because we still have no idea what the actual cost of doing it is. It's like,
yeah, you know what it's like? It's like the legalization of marijuana, right? It's like this. It's like, hey, back in the fucking 80s, hey, you got weed? Yeah, fucking straight to jail. And then it's like, now, actually, it's fine, kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
no consequence.
Yeah, look, just don't do it around kids, please. I mean, look, in fucking New South Wales, you still get done for it, but look, the world is slowly evolving. But it's one of those things that until you really know the danger of something, you can't. And I feel like we never really understood that. Like the darkness in our interactions with it in Destiny's context are just so, I don't know, they're so scant on information, and it was almost like we did it out of desperation to defeat Eramis, and that still doesn't sit right with me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's by design. Maybe that's just, you know, it didn't quite. It missed a couple of notes in the, you know, trying to convince us along the way. But I feel like it's deliberate. And I feel like it's smart in that sense, because it's going to be like, well, oh shit, maybe now we should have thought twice before we, you know, got into bed with the darkness.
I got some questions here. That diabetic, what if she's worse than Shin because she's probably still hallucinating and friends push too further? Did Shin have hallucinations? So I think there is a good point that, like, I admit that Shayura needs to be stopped. I admit there is a difficult line. I mean, this is literally, okay, I didn't say this online because I know it would cause too much issues, but like I'm on Twitter and that, but you know, it is a commentary on mental health. It's not even on mental health. It's a commentary on veterans and people we send to war and they come back all fucked up and then they do something and then they never got the support to get better. And then eventually when they break, they go to jail and they get punished.
And we turn around and point the finger and say,
right?
monster.
And
look at this monster, right? How could a person do this? And it's sort of like, well, it's years and years and years and, you know, a million steps down a fucking path to get to that point.
Yeah.
No one sees
and
that.
You know, you have to punish them. You can't let people go around killing people, right?
Yeah.
But people very quickly forget that they have been isolated and not supported after serving their country. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Doing the dirty
they've
work
seen horrific shit. And all of a sudden they go from a hero which no one supports to a villain who no one supports. So I think my reaction is that people couldn't see that. And yeah, Shayura needs to be stopped and she needs to be brought in and she needs to be detained and stuff. But in the Destiny universe, we shouldn't be permanently killing ghosts, full stop. Because technically we could run out of Guardians. There's no more ghosts being created. So efforts should be made to do that. And I think what annoyed me was people didn't see the similarities in her story and Shin Malphite's story. I just found that a bit frustrating. So no, Shin didn't have hallucinations. He's a straightforward revenge story.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. There's no psychosis or anything involved.
No,
in that.
he's 100%
very aware. Knows. I mean, does that make it better? Does that make it worse? Is it like,
exactly. So should it not be better? Shouldn't it be worse if you have a normal state of mind and you're killing people?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, you'd think so. And I laugh because it seems like a very preposterous thing to actually ask another person. But in this context, fair enough.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Can you have a normal mindset and kill somebody?
To kill somebody?
No, probably not. Maybe. Accidentally, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, to premeditatedly murder someone, I think that something...
It's in Shin's case, it's very premeditated.
Well,
he set up a trap.
Yeah, he's got no defense. He's done what he's done, that's for sure. And I don't know. I mean, there is no hint in that last card, right? When we're talking about the gun where she kills the Elixni and then shoots the Guardian, kills its ghost, and then, you know, basically is there talking to this lightless Guardian as he dies, and he the hunter. And like he even says to her, like he was aware of who she was before she turned up, right? Like, what is it? I know you're a few bullets short of a clip or something like that. He makes some offhand remark about her, you know, like, oh, you're nuts or whatever.
Logie, you really paid attention to my story.
I did, because I knew we were going to be talking about it.
Is that because of all the Twitter drama and you're like, fuck, I can get in on this beef?
I'd already watched it. I'd watched it by then. I thought, but I knew that, like, because we haven't, you know, last week was a very odd week in the history of the DDU. I really wanted to double down and talk about this shit this week because, first of all, it's a fucking cool story and I really like it. And secondly, I think we were probably due to do something decent like this. But I mean, is she at peace with it now? Like, is she still having delusions? Because there doesn't seem to be any delusion involved in her doing what she does in that last card. She knows exactly what she's doing. At least that's the way it appears.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you want to know the icing on the cake?
What's that?
Guess, you know because you read the thing. Guess where her other trauma took place.
The lighthouse. What?
Old Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the telegraphing of that.
One of the few characters that actually has history with old Chicago.
Isn't it? Is it Aisha that says it, or is it her? There's something about alluding to a memory. There's something that happened there because she's not really. They were
trapped there, or something happened in old Chicago. Yeah, right. They were there as a fight team.
So look, it's definitely telegraphing that. I mean, maybe she comes into the story. Like, it'd be an interesting way to have to fight off another Guardian, right? Like an actual straight up and down Guardian. This Guardian knows you've been using stasis and she's going to come after you like Mr. X in Resident Evil and just fucking kick down a door and give it to you. Boom. I think that'd add a bit of intrigue to the next DLC if you were being pursued.
Because
by
that's the next DLC, right? Oh, that's meant to be Witch Queen, right? Old Chicago.
Rumored, yeah. I mean, that's the rumor going around. Well, we've seen maybe a little bit more of it, but yeah, I think that's it. I don't know, but I love this story though. I can say that. I feel like the more we get in terms of Guardian stories that humanize them, as much as this is a tragic story in that, you know, she's clearly grappling with things that I hope no one ever really has to grapple with. It's a very human story. It's about someone's just lost their way, and I think Destiny tells its best stories when it does that. You know, much like, you know, the human side of what's happening to the Elixni and all that stuff with their encampment in the tower. So I think yet another tick in the box of excellent storytelling. Well, last season and this season now.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Kicking goals, baby. Kicking goals,
Talking
baby.
about law. Look at this shit.
See how fun it is, Log, when you've actually paid attention?
I know.
You were very well informed today. It was crazy.
Look, I kind of enjoy playing the dumbass role too, where I don't have to quite so hard.
Maybe we should always do the week after so you can actually contribute.
Yeah, I'll just watch your video. Or you give me an advanced screening of your video and then we can talk about it.
No, well, now we're always going to be a week behind. So now you'll see.
No, now we can talk about your Praxic order one next week and we can.
Next week.
Hell yeah. Maybe we need to actually get some people who know even more about the law than me on to talk about it too.
Mate, no, I mean, you're not going to get any higher than the fucking old Hollywood Games over here. Actually, you would. There's a lot of. There's so many. Actually,
I just stopped and like did this for a second, and I can think of 10 people straight away. So. Anyway, look. If you've got any final questions or anything you want to ask about, fire away now, and we'll give it another couple of minutes. But this has been good, right? We had our little emotional fucking blowout last week and got angry about stuff. This week, we're back on target, despite the fact we talk about New World, and we won't do that anymore. DestinyFANZ event.
Have we even talked about New World? We haven't even talked about it.
I mean, there's not really much to say beyond the fact that we all want to try and get on the same server. I'm enjoying it, but it is very MMO-y in that, like, the combat is just jank for the most part. I don't know. It's got everything I love about MMOs and everything I hate about MMOs in equal measure, right? So I can see myself getting into it for a while and then going, you know what, fuck this, and then going back to Destiny like I always do. But it's fun. Like, I don't know. I think games like that, they just nail down that idea of like everyone having their own identity and it being kind of fucking funny, like
and
being
contributing
sassy,
to a community
and contributing and all of that. And I wish Destiny would do that. Like, I feel like Destiny's clans could really lean heavier into that MMO sort of guild concept, because clans are like basically just Hawthorne and an additional friends list at this point. So I'd love to see them double down on that. I mean, and that's the reality of it. Whenever I'm doing anything that isn't Destiny, I'm thinking about, you know, what would Destiny benefit from this? You know, like how could this Destiny lean into this? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a good time last night, and it's just sort of there is nothing funner than just running around ganking shit with Matt, because you just, even if it could be the lowest level fucking crab on a beach. And you and your fucking buffhead brother running at it going, nah!
Go, you want some? You may want some. It's like just a crab walking along.
Fuck you, crab.
Fuck you, crab.
Get in the bin, crab. Smashed crab, you're dead. But
give me your lewds. Give me your fucking lewds.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I mean, there's a hell of a lot to look forward to the back end of this year, so. Yeah.
Look, you know what the deciding thing was that I wasn't like going to go mental on New World is it like new season Destiny comes out just before. I was like, what can I do? New season Destiny just before New World. Like, how am I going to do that?
It's going to make it. That's
it's
why
a commitment.
I'm making the most of it now. But I don't know. I think if anything we've learned over the last few years, it definitely pays to have something in hand to kind of go back to when Destiny hits its flat spots, and that's healthy. That's a
I think I'm going to play it off
thing.
stream. I think at night time, if there's some people around, it's a good relaxing game for me, for sure.
Yeah,
it's a very relaxing game.
I mean, I know that I'll piss people off saying this, but it's definitely not the bloody Twitch fucking clickheads idiot game that Destiny is, right? Like, it's much slower and much not simpler, but you know, I mean, I was sitting out there playing on the laptop last night until you fucking harangued me into coming in here. Just minding me of business, mate.
Dude, but okay, imagine this on that bloody this is the kind of game you use that new Switch Deck, the fucking Steam Deck.
Yeah, the Steam Deck. No one's gonna get that confused.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
you want to chop some wood and you're getting harassed by your loved one, just pretend for a chat you actually have someone in your life. You're getting harassed by your loved one, right?
This is not your chat, man.
Oh yeah. This is not my chat. This is BDU chat. And you know, you're like, yeah, I'll watch a movie with you, and really, you're sitting on the couch chopping wood with your Steam Deck, mate, playing New World.
Yeah, I mean that's me. Oh, I'm working on stuff. What are you working on? My level in an MMO.
Yep. I'm working,
it's all about how
baby.
you spin it. No rest for the wicked. You know how it is. All right, cool. Well, we might wrap there, and I don't know. We'll talk about the practice order next week, I think, and we'll keep this fucking reinvigoration of lore going. How about that?
Yeah.
And yeah, as always, have a good week, Matty. Where will the lore find the denizens of this stream this week?
Right. So you're sitting there minding your own business, and you hear, hey, brother, and you're like, huh? Oh, Drift. And he's like, hey, I've got a moat for you, a dark moat. I need you to transport this to the outer reef. And you're like, yeah, why? I'll give you some glimmer. Oh, right, brother. Let me get that done for you. And just as you take a step outside of the city boundaries, you hear the noise of a floofing warlock.
Oh,
you look
shit.
to the sky. There's a figure with the sun behind her back, a shadow screaming down towards you, screaming in the name of the Praxic fire. And just as a warlock's dong blade goes through your chest, you sputter, the law has found you. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's pretty good. I'll pay that. Anyway, have a good week.
Bye.
Hang around for a raid.